Soaking my leg after the race yesterday, dreaming about the New York City Marathon. Maybe next year? Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. Just watching the New York City Marathon on Twitter because we don't have any TV in our house. So, frankly, I just don't have time to watch television. So, but there's moments like this, you know, where there's live sporting events where you wish you could watch it on TV. So, therefore, I am following the Runner's World Twitter account, and they're doing a pretty good job at updating live. And yes, this book, A Race Like No Other, is all about the New York City Marathon, running through the 5 boroughs of New York. New York, such a great place. They had to name it twice, huh? So anyway, I'm excited to talk to you guys about the New York City Marathon. Just some past history with that race. I have not run the race, but and then 2019 is right around the corner, so I do want to get your opinion here in a little bit. Stay tuned about which marathon I should debut at in 2019. I have never raced a road marathon, so I'm excited to shoot for that goal next year. All right, back to the race on Twitter. What is more difficult, racing a half marathon in whiteout conditions, which happened yesterday, or answering all of your comments? I don't know. I'm doing my best, guys, and I apologize again if I miss one of your comments as I'm watching Twitter for the New York City Marathon, seeing updates. I'm also replying to your comments. Thank you. Keep them coming, but I frankly don't know. I don't know. Half marathon comments, I don't know. And that concludes the 2018 New York City Marathon. So exciting. All right, the winner on the men's side, Lalisa Desisa from Ethiopia. He ran 2:05:59, so just broke 2:06, and that is the second fastest time ever. That's a big deal. Considering all the runners that have run New York City, that's a big deal. And a fast time because the bridges connecting the 5 boroughs in New York City, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and Staten Island, you have to cross bridges, and those bridges actually gain a little bit of elevation, so it does slow you down. So that's an amazing time. First American, Jared Ward in 2:12. Good job, Jared. That's a solid time. And then on the women's side, Mary Kaitani from Kenya, I'm not saying that right, sorry, was 2:22. Great time. And then the first American woman was Shalane Flanagan, who won it last year. She ran 2:26 this year. And so, bottom line, I'm excited. Oh my goodness, the New York City Marathon. I have heard that the crowds at the New York City Marathon are unmatched by any other, world-class marathon around the world. That's the stories. I've never watched, I've never raced it, but I've heard it's the entire way, basically, just crowds of people. I don't know about millions, but thousands and thousands of people pouring out of their apartments into the streets of New York to cheer on those runners. It's so cool. It's amazing. All right, guys, I am recovering from the race yesterday. My theory is do not take the day off the day after a race. Maybe the second or third day, but the day right after a race, my thesis is to get out there, jog 2 to 3 miles, 9-minute pace, just to get the blood flowing, loosen the muscles up a little bit, essentially loosen up enough so that you can come back to your house, back to where you live, and stretch. Because if you just sit around all day, you might be more tight than you anticipate the next day and the next day. So that's what we're doing today, just bopping along 9-minute pace in the New Balance Beacons. That's right, I am very excited to jog again in these shoes. The cushion, I just love it. I love it. All right, let's go jog 3 miles. Oh, New York City Marathon, baby, get me going. Dreams and broken hearts at the New York City Marathon. I'm going to read to you guys real quick from the inside cover of this book. When 39,000 competitors thunder over the Verazzano Bridge to begin the 38th running of the famed New York City Marathon, they experience one of the most exhilarating moments in sports. But as they cross 5 towering bridges in 5 distinct boroughs, carried 26.2 miles by the cheers of 2 million fans and by their own indomitable wills, grueling challenges await them. Oh, don't we all? If you've run a marathon, you know the challenges that await you in that type of race. Well, my mom is a New Yorker. She grew up in New York. It was always her dream to run the New York City Marathon. And she's a big runner. She's been running her entire life. But, as you know, the New York City Marathon is very difficult to get into. It's a lottery system. It's it's hundreds of thousands of people apply every year to run this race. And only, I think it's up to about 50,000 now. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, many people are turned away. However, you can fundraise for a particular charity, and that will gain you entry into the race. So about 10 years ago, my mom decided, she put her mind to it, to get into the New York City Marathon. And essentially, she did the fundraising. She met the goal, and she got her spot on the starting line. But 6 weeks before the race, and this is where the broken heart comes into the picture, she was in a car accident. A very serious one. It was not her fault. I won't go into the details of the accident, but it broke her ankle. And really bad. And to this day, it still gives her, trouble. And it was 6 weeks before the race, and she was not able to run the New York City Marathon. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that she was unable to attain that goal after having grown up in New York, loved running her entire life, and didn't get entry in through the lottery system, but fundraised for a charity and got her spot on the starting line, had her t-shirt and bib number and everything. And then a car accident kind of took it all away from her real quickly. And it just kind of puts everything in perspective real quick. And I know I don't want this to be a sad moment on the vlog, but it's just part of like my running journey, is knowing that my mom, who, side story, she ran a race. She was entered into a race the day I was born, and I think she like walked like a mile the day I was born. So yes, I was running from the time I've been running my entire life, and I love running. And so the key word of the day is, of course, marathon. And the question of the day is, what is your dream bucket list marathon that you will run, not might run, that you will run sometime in your life? It could be any marathon in the entire world. What is your dream marathon to run? And some of you have already answered this question in previous videos, even yesterday. But anyway, comment below, let me know. And frankly, I'm looking to run my first marathon in 2019. And yes, I will answer the question of the day. Of course, it's the New York City Marathon. That is my dream marathon. That is my bucket list marathon. However, it's kind of a slower marathon. It's not a fast marathon. And so, remember I mentioned to you that I have a couple ideas for my first debut marathon, and I'm not saying I can get into the New York City Marathon. Therefore, I'm leaning toward the Grandma's Marathon in Duluth, Minnesota. Now, I've known about this marathon for quite a while. It's got about 6,000 to 7,000 runners, so it's a pretty big race. Very competitive. Sea level, it drops in elevation about 100 feet, so it's an overall downhill marathon, but still falls into the criteria of the USATF qualified courses, if you know what I mean. I think you know what I'm alluding to. And so it's June 2019. That is my possible idea for a marathon in 2019, my first one that I will be fit, ready to rock and roll, race a road flat marathon. I've never done it, and I'm excited. And so, anyway, I love you guys, and I want you to dream with me. Like, what is your dream marathon? What would you love? And you might be 13 years old, and a lot of you guys are in like middle school and high school, and so don't feel like you don't have to obviously make a decision now, but like think about when you're like 26 or 36, and I know that's a long ways off, but or maybe you're 76 or 66 or 56. You're like, wait a minute, I've done a lot of 10Ks and half marathons, but maybe I could do one last push for a marathon. So that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. Actually, no, I'm not done yet. I'm still cleaning up from yesterday's half marathon in the mud and the snow, so I'm going to go inside and clean up all my gear. I'll bring you along for that journey, but I just love you, and I know that got a little serious there with my mom and the car accident, but her dreams are my dreams. I just appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. All right. Oh, let's go clean up. Let's go clean up. Nothing a little super glue won't fix. Nothing a little super glue won't fix. All right, guys. Seek beauty, work hard, love each other. Go find yourself a marathon.